Some films carry a subcontext which reveal a deeper meaning behind its apparent surface-level triviality. Perhaps the greatest example of this phenomenon is Carry On Camping. It is a classic 1960s British bawdy comedy that may be the most misunderstood in film history. In fact, thematically, it is an existential examination of the human condition through one man's journey of self-discovery during a camping holiday. Let me explain. The first 15 minutes of the film introduces us to a series of characters destined to meet at a campsite where the events of this film will unfold. Carry On Camping is viewed as an ensemble piece, but that is a misreading of the setup. In truth, the film is about one man's journey to conquer his own demons. This character is not one of the regular stars of the Carry On film series, such as Sid James or Kenneth Williams. The real protagonist of this film is Peter Potter, played by Terry Scott, and the antagonist of the film is Peter's inner self, his worst characteristics, represented by 7 characters he encounters during the film, the 7 deadly sins of his own soul. At the start of the film, we see a deeply frustrated Peter Potter, desperate to voice his unhappiness with life to his wife, but is unable. He is weak and flawed, powerless to alter his own unhappy destiny. In fact, this scene, where he tries to convince his wife to take a holiday anywhere other than another camping trip.
Oh, nothing so luxurious as that. I thought we might rough it in some 4-star hotel. Oh, no.
Is in fact a breaking point in Peter's psyche. From here on, Peter will meet a series of 7 manifestations of his own imperfection.
Oh, poor Peter, you're always in trouble.
Indeed, the journey Peter Potter now goes on is a battle against the 7 deadly sins, made flesh, in the guise of 7 characters, and in confronting them, he will finally be able to become the man he wishes to be. Peter's first encounter is an expression of his own inner rage at his inability to argue his case for a holiday abroad. This expression of the sin wrath is embodied by the farmer at the farm where he had previously called for milk on an earlier holiday. A case of mistaken identity leads to confrontation, and Peter is shot when the wrath of the farmer is ignited.
Bullseye!
Peter is shot, he suffers.
Got it!
And this incident brings Peter and his wife closer together. It is a catharsis, and by doing so, the first sin has been expunged.
That's better. Now get your clothes on, we'll have a nice hot cup of tea.
The next encounter is with gluttony, in the unlikely form of Charlie Muggins. He is a clinger-on who dominates the Potter's tent when they selflessly invite him in, and eats the Potter's food with the acquiescence of Peter's wife Harriet. Peter will not confront Charlie, and through gluttony, Peter's own envy grows. The seed is sown early, but there will not be a resolution just yet. The denouement comes in the final act as Peter, returning from his own encounter with another deadly sin, returns to the tent to find Mr. Muggins asleep, having eaten all the bacon. At this point, Peter, finding his inner strength, removes gluttony from the tent, a metaphor for removing another sin from his soul, symbolically tipping the green pea soup, representing his own envy, onto Mr. Muggins' head.
I wonder if he's offended about something.
Where did Peter find the inner strength to take such action? He was inspired by his own encounter with lust. You see, having arrived at the campsite and in despair, Peter is approached by a young woman, Jane, on a school trip. She approaches a drunk Peter and offers him a romantic liaison. Jane represents lust, the impetus to make Peter act on an impulse, which he has long harboured but never enacted. By making a decision to take control of his romantic present, Peter becomes master of his own future, and by confronting his own lust, is able to drive out another sin from his soul. Peter has vanquished 4 deadly sins, but there are 3 more to go. The final showdown resolves the conflict within Peter, as greed, in the form of camp owner Josh Fiddler, pride in the form of Dr. Soper, and sloth in the form of a hippie invasion in the next field, collide. Josh Fiddler is the owner of the campsite, a man of greed, coercing money with great regularity from his guests, including the Potters, when they arrive on spec. Yet the Potters pay without question. Dr. Soper is the vain, self-obsessed leader of the girls' school Chase Place, there on a weekend trip. He's controlling and asexual until his girls are lured into the party in the field next door. He is pride. In the neighbouring field, a hippie concert begins, disturbing the campers, upsetting the hens and Mrs. Potter's sleep, and depraving the schoolgirls of Chase Place. The hippies are the embodiment of sloth, in relation to the traditional, socially conservative residents of the campsite. There will be no day trips to Standfast Abbey for the hippies. Indeed, we see the lack of effort they make when the campers plot to evacuate them, barely able to do more than shuffle their limbs in time to the music, despite being sprayed with manure and dragged behind a tractor. As one of the central plotters, Peter is able to vanquish Sloth, guaranteeing his wife a good night's sleep. The schoolgirls decide to leave with the evicted hippies, causing Dr. Soper to flee after them. And so goes sloth and pride, slayed by Peter's choice of action over inaction. Peter's final act of triumph over his own sinful nature comes when he assertively tells his wife they will travel abroad for a holiday next year, and during the ferry journey the camping gear will be ditched overboard.
Yeah?
Monte Carlo.
That's right. We'll go on the cross-channel ferry with all the camping equipment.
Oh, what a good idea.
And when we're halfway across, we'll dump the whole damn lot over the side.
Oh, Peter.
In one move, he banishes any more opportunity for greed to control him, and take control of his own destiny. His journey is complete. His rebirth has taken place.
Anything you say, Don.
How do we know this to be the true message the filmmakers intended? The clue is in the very opening of the film. The cinema tells us in the first frame the destination which Peter will try to reach. It is paradise.
So this was paradise.
Welcome to paradise.